Happy Monday, ladies. How's everyone doing? Sandra, I have a weather report for you. Not one drop of rain today, not even a cloud in the sky.
I'm
So,
trying to figure out what to bring for clothes, and I know we're inside most of the time, but we always like venture out for lunch and nighttime, and so I'm like, am I wearing pants, short sleeve, no sleeve, what?
well, it's hot. So, yeah. Happy Monday. How is everyone doing?
I'm trying to squat up and fun lunch.
All the things. We're going to talk a lot about it today. And even if you weren't there, I think you're still going to get a lot out of this call because, so often we put ourselves out there, we go to an event, we go to a meetup, we go to a conference, and we come back and we don't do anything. And in fact, like in the keynote speech that I gave, one of the things that I always say is sitting here inspired doesn't actually make a difference in your life. If you don't actually take action and move yourself from where you are to where you want to go, nothing is going to change. And so, as I was reflecting and talking to women, we had our first in person Trailblazers ever event. Huge thank you to Avita, who completely just took that whole thing and ran with it. We had, I think, like 20 women at breakfast on Friday at brunch. Catherine was there, Sabrina was there, Janae was there, Crystal was there, April was there, Erica was there. It was awesome. It was so cool to just be with everyone. And so, but as I was talking with people, we get so overwhelmed sometimes. And so today we're really going to be talking about what you might have learned, what you might have seen someone else learn. And maybe it wasn't at Squat Up, maybe it wasn't at Fund Launch, but anytime we put ourselves out there, anytime we go to a meetup, we're hearing and learning new things. And so if we're not actually finding a way to apply it in our business, nothing's going to change. So first, I just want to hear drop in the chat on a scale of 1 to 10. 1 being is the energy I'm coming with is not at all. It's not very good. Maybe you've had a crash. Maybe it's just been a crappy Monday. Or you're on a 10. You're coming in with amazing high energy. You're feeling great. Maybe some good things happen. Where on that scale of 1 to 10 are you falling today? All right, we've got some 7s, some 9s. Crystal just said, excited to be here, but F, it was a day. I hear you. Some more 7, 6, 8 to 9, 8. Yeah, so it sounds like people are coming in with some good energy. Liliana, that's all right. You're at a 5. We're going to get you, hopefully, when you walk out of this, when you hang up, you're going to take some energy into what is coming next. So, Catherine, it's your birthday. Happy birthday.
Thank you.
Oh my gosh. So we met Catherine on Friday. So excited that you found Trailblazers. So excited that you could join us. Catherine owns a boutique hotel in Puerto Rico. Yeah. And we've already started talking to her about our Trailblazers retreat mastermind. We're not really sure what we're doing, but more to come on that. Yes. So happy birthday, Catherine. We love that you're sharing some of this time with us.
And I closed a property today, and title called me to fund and send the wire. So I just closed a property. I've got a few $100,000 coming my way from that. And so a good birthday overall, other than I'm still a little sick from, I think, running myself ragged at Squat Up. But it was important to meet everyone I got to meet, and especially to be able to connect with you. And yes, we will do a Puerto Rico ladies retreat. I'm inspired by you, Katie, and everything you've got me thinking about the stages, and using my voice. So yeah, happy birthday to me. Thank you all for sending me birthday wishes. I appreciate it. So I'm just staying home, but it's been a good day.
I love it. Well, congrats. Happy birthday. May this upcoming trip around the sun be your best one yet.
Thank you.
Okay, drop a I was in the chat if you were at Fun Launch or Squad Up in the last week. Just say I was, or I was there. All right. Yeah, I know a lot of you were because I got to talk to you, which was amazing and awesome. All right. Now I know some of you were not there, but I also know that some of you who weren't there are coming to Austin this week to go to Raising Private Money with Amy Majuri, who is also a great mentor of mine and whom I absolutely adore. Again, even if you were not somewhere, listen, I know you still have ideas. Okay, Jeannie says you were at a co-living event. Perfect. Okay, so you have probably been to an event, you're going to an event, you've been to a meetup, something has happened, right? Everybody, let me ask you this. Drop a yes in the chat if you find yourself with lots of ideas, but you maybe don't know where to take the next step. Is anyone feeling that way? Yeah, April says lots of ideas. Yeah. I will tell y'all, I don't know about y'all last week, but as I was going to sleep one night during Squad Up, I could not go to bed. And it wasn't because I wasn't exhausted. It was because I had so many ideas running through my head. I got up at 1 a.m. and I jotted down a list of all the things because I was like, I have so much freaking stuff going on. And as Erica just said, I need a Molly. Yeah, lady, I hear you. For those of you who were not sub to, or excuse me, Squad Up, Pace Morby's like the woman who really is the glue to his business and keeps his business going. He and she did a 30-minute talk just about what was happening. And I will say she's a transaction coordinator. She teaches top tier TC. When I saw Molly was speaking, I was like, I don't need to be in the room for that. I can be out networking. I'm not going to get anything out of that. No, that was the most life-changing conversation for me. Because what I realized was, yeah, I can't do all the things that I want to do alone. Some of the things I've got to get a little further in before I see what that's like. But I'm certain that there were moments that you have had recently. So I want to share my screen with y'all. And I think that I have figured out how to actually also get music. Although I will say, when I got put music and then I uploaded something the other day to our to Zoom, it did not like me. And it kicked me out. Can y'all see this? Do you see a slide that says
You did
questions
it?
to consider?
What are you waiting for? It takes an hour and a half to cook.
Yes, we're getting
Liliana's
it.
kids obviously are hungry. You see it? Okay, thanks, Deirdre. All right. So what I want to do is I want to give everyone a couple of minutes. Perhaps you've already done this. Perhaps you haven't. Perhaps you've just hit the ground running with kids and W-2 and spouses and, you know, just doing laundry and unpacking and all the things. I want to give everyone about 4 to 5 minutes. And I want you to just jot down some notes specifically around these questions. And then what we're going to do is we are going to open it up. We want to hear about some of the insights that you gained. We want to hear about some of the aha moments. heard a lot of people say, I need to team up with someone. I need to find somebody that can be my Molly. I am a Molly. I need to find somebody who has all these ideas, right? Whatever it is that you're thinking, we're going to start sharing them. And then we're going to spend the last probably 15 to 20 minutes or so talking through how do you actually take these ideas and put them into motion. Does that sound good to everyone? Can everybody just give me a thumbs up if that sounds good? Okay. If you have not been to an event, I want you to start thinking then about whatever event you're coming to, what are the things you want to gain, right? Where are you looking for an impact? What strategies do you need help on? So if you haven't been to something recently and you don't have ideas floating around, I just want you to think forward into what's coming up in your life, and let's start visualizing and thinking about what's going to happen then. All right. So I'm also going to put on some music and give everybody 5 minutes. So I don't know how to start a timer, but the 5 minutes have started. Oh, whoever put up a timer, thank you so much. Okay, just FYI, I don't know how to get the music on, so we're gonna not do that this time. So just take a moment in silence. Hey, take about 20 more seconds. Okay, I'm going to stop sharing this so we can all see each other. All right, I would love to hear from some people. What were those moments? What were those shifters for you? What are things that you're like, oh my goodness, now I need to go do X, or I need to find another Sally to help me out?
I'll go.
Go for it, lady.
Not that everybody's jumping for it, you know, but
If you are silent long enough, somebody will raise their they'll get brave. It happens.
I was like, somebody can go if they want to, but I guess, okay, I'm gonna share. So at Squad Up, there was a point that Pace presented a new option for people, a new program, and it was called the Owners Club. And for me, that made an impact, and probably not for the reason most people would think. It wasn't the like, oh, good, this is what I've been waiting for, or like, you know, anything like that. But it hit me because of my mindset towards it. And it was, he gave this full presentation. So I don't know how many were here that heard it or didn't. So if you did, this is probably just reiteration. But if you weren't, just in case. So he gave this full-blown presentation. You had the little pamphlet in your hand. It was like on the nice cardstock. And, you know, he laid it out really nicely of this is what we're doing. And here's the pain points. And here's how this fixes it. He broke down the value of each thing. And this is what it's worth. And then it got to the end and they presented it as a package. And you know, you're going to be part of this group and it'll escalate your business. If it's your first deal, this isn't for you. This is meant for another crew. But at the end of it, you know, there was the call to action of if you'd like to sign up, go ahead. This thing was like $34,000. And there were like hundreds of people just like done, already did it. And so there was two sets to this in my mind. Of the one hand, you're like,
You don't even need to.
uh-oh. Like someone chimed in. On the one hand, part of me could have felt like, why are we spending money on something else? Why are you selling me this? Why are we doing this? You know, that kind of thing. I did see the value in it, but that was kind of like the one side, right? And then the other side that told me you're headed into business was going, wow, this is really cool. And what a great business plan and presentation. If I feel like it's too much, that means I'm probably not there yet. It means it's probably not meant for me. But he found a way to cater it to an audience that, hey, this is for this crew. And just, it was very well laid out. And like, if you're going to keep leveling up, you always have to find a next challenge. So why wouldn't he launch something else? Why not present it? And he laid it out. He gave you the, this is why, this is how, this is what we're doing. And then had that call to action at the end. And I'm going, maybe I need to look at that and be okay setting that up for my own businesses. So yeah, that was just one of my big takeaways.
Yeah, lady, that is interesting. And there were so many people that like walked right onto the back and were like, here's my card. Here's
Kimmy's
the
like, they're running.
Yeah. And I think we have a few women on here who joined Owners Club. And just a reminder that Trailblazers is not associated with Pace. We're not associated with him. Yes, these calls, these Monday night calls started from Sub 2 and Gator. And then we met lots of women who are not in the Pace's programs, and you don't have to be, who wanted to connect with other women in real estate investing. So again, just a very quick reminder, although right now it does seem like everyone was at Squad Up last week.
And that was neither like for or against it either. Of like, I think if you signed up, it's awesome. I feel like if you weren't able to or don't know about it, that's totally okay too, wherever you're at. It was just more for me recognizing that mindset of like, oh, okay, there's a point where people that just don't get it or aren't there yet are like, this is a scam, or you know, people come up with their reasons, but when you're there, you're like, yeah, but this could totally scale your business. Or if you're making 50 grand a month or whatever, or something like that, why not do it? You know, it makes perfect sense.
Yeah. Awesome. Thanks for sharing, lady. Now, let me ask you this. So that was an aha, but what did that tell you about your business and how you want to make a change? And maybe that's not related, but
I think it was more about the mindset of going, you're going to keep having to challenge yourself. And that looking at how well that was set up of going, you had a target audience, you had a plan of what you had, you knew the value, you're okay asking for it and presenting it to people. And then going, even if ideally these are my friends or whomever, hey, no, I want you to join this, but I know my value and this is what it's set at. Because I think it's really hard sometimes to be like, you just want to help everybody. And it's like, no, it can be a business and you're helping people too.
yeah.
So I
Thanks,
think it's honoring
lady.
that. Yeah.
Who else? What was an aha that you had? Irene.
So my biggest aha is actually at fund launch. And first is realizing the power of being in the right room. I used to think that, okay, so if I think, you know, raising money, first raising money for a couple $100K to $1 million is already, it's a lot. Like, and then when being in the room and getting to know people who are managing funds of not just 10 million, but a couple, you know, to 100 million, to even almost $1 billion. I'm like, oh my God, like it really elevated the mind to say, wow, that they can do that. And start making me think that, okay, that I got to dare to think big, right? At least have the courage to think big, right? Not necessarily say, okay, I should launch a fund and aiming to have $1 billion fund in 2 years. Okay, that's a little, you know, getting to a certain timeline, right? But at least having the courage to think big instead of thinking that that's impossible. And I think that's the power of getting the right woman. Sometimes getting in the right room, sometimes just one contact that, I mean, I literally know people that just getting in the right room and able to close a deal with 200 million. I'm like, whoa, that's incredible. So getting in the right room definitely have like an incredible power. And second of all is also start having a lot more clarity about what I want to do. For those of you that know me, I've been trying to like do a lot of different things, like really a lot of different things. And as I keep like looking and I realized that there's a theme that at least a core theme that I start getting more clear about impact. That is what I want to do. Although I try different things that have different types of impact. And so now I getting more clear about what I want to do is create a customizable fund that fund different types of projects that have impact that I believe in. And I think having access to capital to be able to fund those meaningful projects is something that I truly believe in. And I also getting more clear about how much passion I have in terms of empowering people to get a better understanding of alternative investment. Real estate is definitely a alternative investment. And even within it, there's so many creative asset class that I wish I knew and I didn't know, right? Not just single family, not just multifamily, but it's plenty. And I used to think that VC and PE is so far reaching. And now I realize that, okay, actually, once you get in the right pool, right, then it's actually reachable. And it's not like that you already have to be rich. So you get a lot more clarity. And a lesson I learned is it meant to be a joke, but it also is true. And that could be applied to many of you. Is as we are on our journey, we are kind of dating in a sense, JV with different people, doing deals with different people, or even like meeting different people, potential partner, right? There could be breakups, like you date and say, okay, this has potential. these are potential. This one, the energy doesn't vibe. Okay, at different stage, right? And then some may break up, and then you got to learn better about yourself and the other, and then move on. And then some is that nothing wrong, nobody does wrong. It just maybe at some point that you have a different direction, and then you break up and stay friends, right? And really in really good terms. At least that is where I'm at, and I'm super grateful along this journey. And I'm just getting started. So that's my aha moments.
I love that, Irene. I love that. Yeah, being in that fun launch room, woo, y'all. I mean, we were having all kinds of conversations. Irene was there, I was there, a couple of other people were there. And it is funny. Like, I remember telling someone I wanted to do a $10 million fund, and I'm like shaking in my boots thinking, I know that's not a lot of money, but like, it's a lot of money. And then I turned and I was like, so what are y'all doing? And they're like, yeah, we need to raise $200 million and we already have raised $50 million. And I'm like, got it. Okay. So it just forces you to level up. And one of the things for me, my big aha, while everyone else is thinking of what theirs is going to be, is when Jerry Norton was talking about raising your risk tolerance. And I've had several conversations since then. So what he said was, in order to go to the next level, what you've got to do is you've got to become risky. You've got to get uncomfortable. You've got to do the things that make you nervous or anxious or give you stress specifically. And then eventually they won't be stressful. They will just become your norm. And then to get to the next level, you've got to put yourself back into the situation of raising your risk tolerance, of getting uncomfortable again. And I had a conversation with a friend today. Some of you probably have met him, Casey Bluford. Casey is the reason why I started Trailblazers. He is the reason why I got these calls going in the first place. Because he was like, why aren't you doing something with women? You talk about women, like get them on the phone, get them on, like start a Facebook group, like all the things. And what we realized, and tell me if this resonates with any of you, I'm an A performer. Like y'all, I climb the ladder super quickly. I have big goals and big dreams. And then I stepped out and did my own thing. And then I stepped out and did my own thing again. But I got to the place where I was like, ooh, that's uncomfortable. And all of my friends right now, they're in the positions and places in their life where they're like, yeah, I hit my ceiling and this is where I'm at and this is the house I'm gonna have and this is the lifestyle I'm gonna have and I'm not gonna put myself and make myself more uncomfortable. And as I started thinking, oh my gosh, I gotta get more uncomfortable, I didn't really think that. I just thought I still have big stuff to do and this is scary. I realized that those of us who have been going for so long, we sometimes get to that place and we're like, oh, I don't want to be uncomfortable again. Like I've already done that. And what I heard from him is you never stop doing it. You never stop getting uncomfortable if you really are in a life of growth. And that was fucking mind-blowing to me. Pardon my French for all of you ladies who don't use the F-bomb. It was just crazy. Crystal, tell me what you driving home. I love it. Tell us what's going on.
I'm always freaking on the road, I swear. So I mean, Irene kind of put it the most perfect way is being in the right room with people. Like I always knew like, hey, you gotta pay to be in the rooms with people you want to be like. And I was like, all right, I get that. But actually experiencing it, and I mean, my voice is still gone. I am so exhausted still, but it was honestly it was the best like $2,000 with flight and everything included that I have ever spent my entire life. Like it was so worth it. And I think that, outside of being in that room, like, listening to Jerry talk about being uncomfortable and then listening to Cody Sanchez and even freaking Grant, everybody, you either love him or you hate him. I love Grant Cardone. He cracks me up because he gives absolutely no flying F's about anything, which is amazing to me. But like, I think that that whole, like, just like you were saying, the uncomfortable part, I walked out, I think it was after Jerry's talk at Squad Up, and I looked at one of my business partners that we just like formed our business buying group, and I looked at him and I was like, I am so pissed off right now. And he's like, you know what? I feel the same way. And it was like crazy that we are on the same wavelength, because we've literally only been, I don't know, business partners for just like a couple of months, but like we've only met each other twice, and we were like right on the same page. He runs pizza joints, like that's his business, and I still have a W-2. And we were like, we have to get the hell out of this thing. Like, we literally cannot stay working 50 hours a week in something that does not serve us in any means but just funding. That is the only thing that my W-2 is doing for me right now. I literally have to go in at 5 o'clock tomorrow to meet deadlines that I just found out I had today. So like, it's not serving me anymore. And so I need to do the thing and be uncomfortable. And so I have decided that in the next year, by April of next year, I will no longer have my job. I'm not giving it 3 years anymore. I'm giving it 1 year. And that was because of being in that room.
Lady, that is amazing and terrifying. Listen,
Oh no, I don't know how I'm going to do it. I have no idea how I'm going to do it, but I met so many, you included, amazing people that I feel like, you know, obviously we talk on these chats every week. But like, I know that you guys are going to be the reason that I'm going to do it. And I hope that I can help every other person who's in my situation to do the same thing. Like, get in the uncomfortable, but let's fucking kick ass and like, let's do what we want to do, because we can, and we know where we need to start.
Yeah. If you haven't seen my Facebook today, 9 years ago today, I was at a conference. I was so freaking miserable. I cried every day in my corner office. And my 9-year anniversary of quitting that job with no plan, with no idea what I was doing, is this weekend. And I'm not suggesting you quit your job without a plan. Not everyone is as insane and crazy as me. But I'm telling you that there is something when you push yourself out of that bird's nest and you say, fly, fly, little bird, fly. You learn how to fly. So we're cheering you on, lady, and we cannot wait to see that. And let's talk also about how you're actually going to make that happen. Like, that's not going to just happen where you wake up next April and you're like, I'm done. You're going to have a plan. Yeah. April, tell us what's happening, lady. Oh, you're on mute.
Sorry, I had to scroll over and unmute myself. So hello, everyone again. So I have to agree with Crystal. Like, it was I mean, I've been to a lot of conferences, not real estate, but just other things like, you know, Tony Robbins or something similar, right? I would say it is 100% the best money that I've spent to date of me going to things of similar nature over the last 15 years. But my biggest aha was probably when, I mean, there were a lot of them, but I think is after I came home and I had 4 people covering for me when I left, for just me. So it was my boss and 3 of my colleagues. Apparently things exploded. They couldn't handle the volume. And then I was like, this is ridiculous. Like, this is ridiculous that 4 people can't cover for me. Like, something's wrong. Like, I need to be spending my energy somewhere else, because what happens is somebody will just, you know, I'll handle it real quick, figure it out, and then they'll just give me more. And then I'll figure that out, and then they'll just give me more. And I'm like, I'm not, just because I'm working harder doesn't mean I'm making more money because I'm working harder. So I think it's like, just, I need to dial that in a bit. So it really got me motivated, and all my deals that are just kind of like, you know, a little bit here and a little bit there, and I'm like letting them slow play. I'm just like, no, I'm just going to go as fast as possible. That's, you know, smart to do so, and just get that in line more quickly, because it's just too much. So that's my takeaway.
It might be interesting. Drop a me in the chat if you're at a place right now where you have a W-2 and you do want to leave in the next year. it might be cool if we like did some content around that and some training. And I mean, y'all was a career coach before that. So before I stepped into real estate. So I have a lot of thoughts around this. Okay, we'll put this on the back burner, but that might be something that we can do because again, if you're going to make this shift and having coached many women who left their W-2 to start their own business, most of you are ahead, you're already doing that. But like, we got to have a plan. We got to understand, like, from a monetary standpoint, what do you have to do to get there? Thanks for sharing, April. Carrie Ann, my roommate.
Hello, how are we? My voice is coming and going like Crystal. It's it'll be back just in time to fly out to Austin. I think one of my aha moments was more just a reiteration of what I know and what I've with my growth and with what I'm doing in my business, of the importance of aligning with others who have your same vision and have the same drive that you do. Because I met so many people that I've met on Zooms or in different meetups, awesome investors doing great things, but I thought, they're just not my vibe. They have different energy or they work differently than me. And so when Pace and the Squad Up page was saying, come and meet your next $1 million partner. And, things that we talked about for this group, things that I talked about with different people at dinners, capital raising for them and working together and having them see what I bring and for me to be able to see what they bring. And then you walk away and you're like, holy crap, we could build something amazing here. And I think we feel, because it's an entrepreneur is usually more of a solo thing. We think for an entrepreneur, we can't be in a team or we can't be in a business. It's so untrue, because once you meet those people, it's like, how could I not work with them? Because we're going to just catapult into different places, and to see to almost be able to see where that goes and where it could be in a year. Incredible.
Yes, lady. Let me ask, did anyone get in that room, and even if they were nervous or anxious or any of the thing, did anyone go, holy shit, I'm actually doing the thing, and feel really proud of yourself?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah. Okay, Jesse, I want to hear from you, because I know you guys had some big ahas, and you might need some help from some people in the groups. Tell us what's happening, lady.
Yeah, hey there. Sorry, my alarm went off, and I'm still in my jammies, so thank you all for taking me in my post Squad Up jammies. So yeah, we had a few ahas. The biggest one was just that we really needed to get serious about building our team. We've done a lot, Lance and I, as a unit, as husband and wife, as a team, for the last year, but it's just not going to get us where we want to be, at least on the timeline that we're looking at. So it forced us to really take a step back and look and say, okay, we really need to zero in and make that, the next step that we do. And similar to kind of what Carrie Ann was saying, for me at least, I've been like a recluse for the last 2 years, very, very happy about it. I won't go into too much detail, but we were business owners for 20 years. I think to a certain extent, being self-employed will traumatize you. And then COVID, right? We all went through some sort of, brushstroke of whatever COVID was. So I spent the last 2 years being very happy hiding behind a computer screen. And it's time for me to come back out of hiding. And I'm fine with that. I've done networking for a lot of years. I've been the face of our company for a lot of years. I just, it was kind of my aha moment that it was time for me to get back out there.
Yeah. See, that's so funny. Okay, so I knew Jesse and Lance from back in Dallas because they drive into DFW to go to our meetups. And so I know, like, I was standing next to Lance when a couple of people had not met him, and like one guy basically tackled him to hug him. It cracked me up. I didn't know that you were the face of the last business, because I would have been like, oh yeah, that's Lance. Like, so that's fascinating. A, that you got to take a step back, and B, that you're like, yeah, I did that and I'm glad. And now I want to go forward. So I love that. Let me ask you, who are you looking for? Do you know who you might be looking for yet?
Yeah, so actually, and thank you for asking, and just, I think I misspoke, I apologize. Lance and I were both the face of the last company. I can't take that from him, but he knew me more as part of the last business, and with this one, I hid for anonymity. So I did get on a call earlier with the gal who my husband is known in the group about being an operator. I don't know yet. It was a great conversation. I do know that we are looking for an acquisitions teammate, just like a really badass closer, acquisitions person. If you know anybody, let me know.
For wholesaling?
Yeah, for wholesaling mainly. We are ready to kind of blow up the Tyler area. For anybody that doesn't live in Texas, nobody knows where East Texas is. But for those of us who are in Texas, we're in the major metro area outside of the triangle. So the triangle is Austin, DFW, and Houston. We're the major metro to the east of that. So, oh, Art. Lacey, hi Lacey. You need to come see me next time you're out in Art.
Hey girl, yes, I do. You got it.
I got my travel trailer set up, Airbnb for free. So, but yeah, I think that's something that Lance and I spoke about today. Somebody who is a good closer who wants to just go, go, go. We have a good community here that Lance has built up that's not just Sub2, but it's Astro and it's other real estate investors, and they're kind of coming to Lance saying, hey, we have these deals, and I think that we could get a really great, flow going into the community and other places with his platform. So
I love it. Okay, so if you know any great closers, let Jesse know. I love that. Okay, I want to be mindful of time. It is 6:46. I do want to have one quick conversation first, and then we're going to talk about how do you take these ideas and actually put them into action. So I went to Fun Launch and then Squad Up. I've told y'all that. There were only 2 women who graced the stage in solo speeches. And they were the exact same 2 women, and they gave the exact same 2 speeches. Okay. So for those of you who were there on Friday, you have heard me get on my soapbox about this. For a long time, I've been thinking about, planning, talking about how do we get more of you on stages. So for those of you who do not know, I am a public speaker. I had to slow down a little bit in the last year because I've been trying to get my content back from my former business partner. So that's why I haven't been on stages as much. However, I have spoken from groups of 15 all the way to 2,000. I've been paid to speak in multiple companies, multiple stages. I've done a TEDx talk. I personally have probably spent $25,000 to $30,000 learning the craft of public speaking. So one of the things that we're going to be rolling out inside of Trailblazers is a speaker's training. For those of you who are like, I want to get in front of people, I want to talk, I want to add value, I want to be able to teach you how to do that. And it's funny that Jesse just talked because Lance, in case you're not in Sub2 or Gator, Lance has been doing all kinds of speaking but he's doing his first live in person this Saturday. If you're going to be in Dallas Fort Worth, go to that event. It's DFW Doing Deals. It's a phenomenal group. Our business partner, Jobs Carter, we own 10 condos with him. He is one of the facilitators and co-leaders of that event. And Lance is going to be speaking. Now, for those of you who have been paying attention to Lance, you're like, Lance speaks all the time. Lance does virtually. There are so many places that you could be speaking. And I don't know about y'all, but I'm ready to see more women take the stages virtually and in person. So if that is something you're interested in, just know that that is coming down the pipeline. Did that piss anybody else off? I love how Kimmy says Team B. I mean, for real. Yeah, I was just like, oh my God, I already saw her. And I saw her give this same speech. Like, but I saw 30 different dudes. So, okay, let's talk about taking action. I looked at lots of different things. And here's the thing about taking action. You've got to put your ideas into a goal, into a SMART goal. Y'all are smart. Y'all know what a SMART goal is. If you don't, Google it. I'm not going to tell you how to do a SMART goal. But the second thing that I think will be good is getting an accountability partner, having an accountability group, which is what we are, and putting it out there. So if you are ready and you're like, I know what I'm committing to, I would either love for you to drop in the chat, this is what I'm committed to doing by XYZ date, or if you know and you want to share, I want you to come off, put yourself, raise your hands, and actually speak it out loud. And one of the things that we're going to be doing over the next few months is checking in with you. How are you doing? What is happening? Originally, when we started these calls, that's all we did. We talked about our goals and we held each other accountable. So we're going to kind of go back to that. But what I want to hear is, what are you committed to doing? April, was your hand still up, or are you?
Oh, no, I think that's from the last time. I'll take it
Okay.
down. Thank
All right.
you.
So I will tell you what I'm committed to doing. I'm committed to growing Trailblazers. One of the things that I know is that the fund that I am working on and creating, I need you all because you have deal flow and I want to fund your deal flow. So it's important to me that I pour into this community. And so 2 things that I'm committing right now. One, I just announced I will be doing, by July 1st, we'll be rolling something out about training specifically to speak. And there's going to be more details of that. Number 2 is I talked to several of you who have amazing skills who are not mine, who are like, how are we going to grow this? Somebody asked me, like, are we going to do chapters across the country? Are we doing more live events? Like, what are we doing? So in the next 2 weeks, I'm going to be rolling out. I have some positions that I want to fill. Right now, they're volunteer positions, but of course, if Trailblazers starts making money, then we will obviously want to compensate you because you shouldn't have to work for free. But everything from, we have new members joining our Facebook, they need to be welcome and loved on, to helping with some technology stuff in the background, to doing events, live events, virtual events. So we've got lots of that. So those are the 2 things that I'm committing to you, that I want to grow this community for you so that you can, again, find people to do business with. And I want to be able to fund your deals very soon, hopefully in the next 4 to 6 months. So those are things I'm committed to. Who else? What are you committed to? Sandra. I've been hanging out with Sandra.
So for me, like lately, these obstacles I've been running into is, and it's challenging finding deals in my area because of the market segment I'm in and how expensive the properties are, even just for a starter home. So when I'm trying to raise private money, it's a significant amount of money. It's $400,000 to $500,000 for gap funding. And I'm finding frustration because I don't have that network set up. So it's like, I've got a property I've put a deposit on, and I'm scrambling in 7 to 10 days to try to get this money because I have a big deposit for purchase and sale, $50,000, $60,000, $70,000 that I will lose if I don't get the funding by closing. And so I'm in this place of like, I'm afraid to go put offers on properties now. And so, trying to find lenders, that it's hard because a lender doesn't want to commit to a deal until there's a deal in front of them. But I need a deal pulled together, and everything's very quick and fast here. You go to an open house on Saturday or Sunday, they want offers by noon on Monday or Tuesday. There are hundreds of people showing up. You are competing with 10 other people. You're not the only cash offer. People are waiving inspections, so that kind of screws me some of the time. And so kind of getting better poised to feel like I can make it happen if I find another deal. Even with the one we've got going, we had to delay the closing because of this. We were supposed to close Friday and did not. So feeling frustrated, and I don't want to be in this position. And I kind of thought that I could JV with people and that I would be finding the deal and running the project, and somebody else would be finding the funding. And I'm finding all that's happened is that's so out of my hands, and I'm kind of like sitting, waiting for somebody else to do it. So it's tough.
Is there, like in Dallas, if you go a little bit further, like 25 minutes outside of the city, things get cheaper? Is that an opportunity for you at all? Or is it like, no, this is just Massachusetts and it's freaking expensive?
It's where I look. There's 3 counties I look in because I know them very well from being an appraiser here. They're also, I handpick the towns, even within those communities, that will not take a market hit like other towns will, that I know that they'll hold their value if I run into a hiccup and my project runs 3 months longer and things like that. And what I found was in the lower price ranges, and when I say lower price range, $700,000 for a 1,300 square foot fixer upper, I'm getting outbid by first time home buyers because they'll pay more money. They'll pay over asking and things like that. So I went to a more expensive segment. There's less competition. But I also need to be able to run the project, and I need to be able to drive there every day. So I try not to go too far from home.
Okay. So Sandra is looking for somebody who can help her solve this challenge. I think coming this weekend to raising private money, like this is the thing you should be talking about, and like, let's figure that out. And there are some people that I want you to meet and talk to, because this is solvable. This is just money, right? It is solvable. We just have to find, I'm like, I think I can help you, just not today. So it's going to take a bit, but we need to find you somebody who can do this today.
Yeah. I'd like it a little more in my hands than it has felt lately.
Yeah. And I talk to a lot of people that way. What's cool about real estate is that we partner up and we JV and we do all of those things. But at the same time, sometimes that means taking things out of your hands. Sometimes that means letting somebody else do it. And that can be freaking scary, especially if they don't move at the pace you move, if they don't have, my old business partner, like frankly, she didn't need the money. Like she literally did not need the money. And so when I'm like busting my ass to try and build a business, she was like, yeah, I have a, multi 6-figure job. So it wasn't a big deal to her. It was like, this is supposed to be fun. And I'm like, no, this isn't a hobby. Right. And so like, that's another thing that we all have to kind of realize, that like not everybody is actually the right fit for us, even though we might find them amazing and cool and awesome. It's like, no, dude, like you're just not it.
I think so. And like when Carrie Ann was talking about it, I resonate with that too, because that's part of it. It's this, if I go through this process to find something which isn't easy and kind of fight for it, negotiate it, bring subs in, renegotiate down the price after the home inspection and everything, for me, it's like, this is going to happen. And I know that real estate deals fall apart. I'm not oblivious to that fact, but in my head, it's not a, oh, well, hopefully this will work out. No, like I'm going to give it every single ditch effort until there are no avenues to take.
Yeah. All right, we're gonna get you there, lady. I promise you. I promise. All right. So many awesome things have been put in the chat. Everything from I'm committed to acquiring properties virtually and scaling my portfolio. I'm committed to buying 2 businesses. I'm committed to doing Gator and PML deals. I'm committed to pivoting out of my W-2. I'm committed to being a regional group leader, calling 20 agents a day. I am committed to purchasing multifamily, creating content. Listen, I'm committed to buying a sub-2 property. I'm committed to completing a connector deal. Like, you all are doing the thing. So when we show up next week, what we want to do is hear, how are you doing? And if you need someone, find an accountability partner. There are amazing women in this group. You are a magnet. You're going to attract the people, men or a woman, who is supposed to be able to help you. And one of the things that I realized over the last 2 weeks is that what is for me will not miss me. It will not. I did not stay out late going to events and house parties and all that, because I was like, oh, if it's meant for me, it's not going to miss me. And I needed sleep. I cannot run on 2 hours of sleep like some people can, right? If it's meant for you, it's not going to miss you, but you have to keep taking the steps. You have to keep putting yourself in motion, keeping yourself in action. So either let this group be your accountability group, find somebody inside this group or any of your other groups who can be your accountability partner. It is 7 o'clock Central. If anyone has to drop out or drop off, feel free. But I love, my favorite part of the week is hearing your wins, is hearing where you've stepped out, where something great has gone for you, whether it's small or big. So I want to hear what is awesome that has happened. Lacey, take it away, lady.
Thanks, Katie. Okay, I wanted to give, just on the whole topic of getting uncomfortable, it was probably like a few months ago, Kevin Cho was in town. I was super tired. I did fitness all day. And I was like, I've got to go. I got to go. And I met with a great guy. His name was Chai there. And I saw Lance at like the very last minute. And I'm like walking out the door. And my partner, Jessica's like, go talk to Lance. And Jessica, I was like, I'm just too tired. I don't want to. Okay. So I go up. I talk to Jessica, who's on this call. And we had a follow-up call. She said, because my pain point was I have a duplex in Dallas that one side was sitting for 6 months. And it's the other side is a long-term rental. Yeah. And so she's like, there's this guy named Jack. He will help you short-term rent, do this short-term rental thing, Airbnb. And I'm like, you know what? Screw it. I'm going to do it. So I went out on a limb. I talked to Jack, and I will say I furnished it. It takes so much longer to furnish something than you realize the first time, but it went live April 1st, and every weekend it's been booked. So out of April, it was booked 20 days out of 30. So Jessica, thank you. yeah, it was a huge win this month.
That is awesome. Where is it, Lacey?
It's right on Live Oak downtown. Yeah,
We
it's
lived right over there. Yeah.
so, you know, there's some shady parts, but
Oh yeah, 75204.
okay, yep, yeah. So, you know,
Yeah.
so I just want to say, I mean, just keep going, get uncomfortable and get comfortable with it, and good things happen. So that was my win.
Awesome, lady. Way to go. Catherine, tell us what has happened. What's going on? Oh, you're on mute, Catherine.
Okay. I have a couple things I want to share. For one thing, Katie, it was so great meeting you, and I'm so inspired by the things you were saying about women. You know, that we saw the same two people on stage. I wasn't at the fund event, but I have seen Bina before, and of course, Cody was one of the speakers I was really excited to hear from. But I haven't really utilized my platform, and I am sitting on 3 years of sign-in sheets that have never been formally put into any kind of application or done anything with all of these emails. Last month, I watched Jerry Norton for 8 hours filming with Daniel the Q, and one of the things they said off camera, Jerry said, it doesn't matter how many subscribers I have, that none of that matters. The only thing is a means to an end. I'm collecting emails because that I own. Subscribers I do not own. YouTube viewers I don't own. What I own are emails, and I have a pile of, can't see it for this. I have a pile of sign-in sheets, analog. And I decided after talking to you that I have these guys that are desperate to work on Upwork, and I had them on another project to do a mailing list. And that wasn't really creating, I got leads, but then I couldn't really do anything with those leads yet. So I said, don't do any more of this. And they're desperate, right? These guys email me every few days, like, do you have something for us? Do you have something for us? I'm like, no, I really don't. I really don't. And while I was at this weekend summit after talking to you, Katie, I'm like, you know what? I'm going to utilize those emails. I'm going to put together the email list. I'm going to have them transcribe all of this stuff into MailChimp and organize it. And then I'm going to keep in communication with all these people that I've already been collecting but haven't done anything with. And I have YouTube content for 3 years from my club that I don't share and I don't utilize. And Zachary, my son, and I started brainstorming in Orlando. Oh my God, we could do shorts and we could edit over the top of all of this. And we have so much content we can use to elevate our club, to elevate our reach, to put more visibility. Honestly, I wasn't sure I wanted more visibility, but you've inspired me, not so much as a means to an end of why am I doing this? Is it for fundraising? Is it for this? But just to be someone who has a story and to share my story, and not even really knowing what the end purpose is, but knowing there must be some reason why I'm called to do this. So
listen, y'all, I'm going to say this until I'm blue in the face. There are only 31.6% of us. That's it. That's it. So every time we feel not qualified, every time we think, oh, not me, then our sphere of influence, the women that we are supposed to attract, will not see this. I come from the world of fundraising. All of my friends are, you know, in the C-suite in corporate America. Not all of your friends are doing that, right? Like, you have totally different spheres of influence than I do, right? We live in different states.
yeah.
We're involved in different things. There are women on this call. We are from different faiths and backgrounds. And so when we feel like we're not qualified enough to talk about this, the women in our sphere of influence don't get to hear about it. And you know whose fault it is? It's our fault. And then they can Google, if they ever do, and they're going to find Pace Morby.
Right.
And they're going to find every other, no offense, I'm married to one. They're going to find every other white man out there that's like, yeah, I'm so great at this. And that's putting out their content.
Yeah.
If we are going to make a dent moving 31.6% to closer to 50, it is not, it's going to take all of us saying, yeah, I'm in this. And there are so many reasons, and we could talk about the data and the research and the numbers and all of that. There are so many reasons why we as women need to be investors in real estate. So congratulations for getting out of your own way. This makes me so freaking happy.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm inspired.
I love it, Catherine. Thank you. And way to go. And keep us posted. And also, I'll message you offline, actually.
Okay.
Irene, tell us what we... Yes.
By the way, Thursday night, you happen to be in Puerto Rico. I've got Jerry Norton speaking at Rio Rico. So that's my little real estate group. I shouldn't say little. That's the only real estate group in all of the island of Puerto Rico, which I started along with my son back in 2021. And we have ballers here like Jerry Norton speaking. So come on down.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Also, ladies, can we stop this? Can we stop using language like, I only have a little? I talked to a lady the other day, it was a gator. She's like, I have a small amount of money. I'm like, no, we're not doing that. We're not making ourselves smaller. We're using our power pose. We're taking more space. I love it. Get it, lady. Congrats. Irene, what can we celebrate with you?
I have two things. Very recent. One is a couple of days ago, I was asked to speak on a panel at the Fun of Funds live event, which is happening this weekend in Dallas. And I have free tickets to give away if anyone in Dallas or nearby and want to come. The unfortunate thing is it kind of collide with the RPM. So here's my quick kind of the suggestion, right? If you're doing fix and flips, or if you're doing kind of single family deals, raising private money is great, right? And then if you want to move on to the multifamily or other commercial mobile home park, other syndication type of deals, that is where raising capital using the LPGP structures or fund of funds will be the way to go in general. And so if you want to move on to kind of multifamily side, then a fund of fund is actually start getting very popular. And if you're interested, like just send me a text about your name and your email and phone number. I'll get you the free tickets. So that's the first win. And the second win is, I don't know how, and don't ask me how, the universe has its own way, that the CEO of Prime Corporate Service actually reached out to me. I don't know how that happened. He and I talked today. I was saying, hey, I'm not happy with my tax service. It just sucks. And and haven't got back like anything. I'm like, and then he had his rep immediately fix it for me. And then I told him that, look, a lot of people in the community are already not happy, right? He's a good person, but then they just scale too fast. And so so I think the good thing is that they are trying to fix that. And if some of you kind of already request refund but haven't got anything, hear back from the account rep and need help, let me know. I'll try to kind of aggregate together to him, and to have him to his team to escalate and get your money back.
Awesome. Congrats and good luck this weekend. I cannot wait to hear how that goes.
Yeah, and then I'm gonna take a bus to go from Dallas to Austin.
Are you ever gonna sleep in your own bed again, Irene?
Yeah.
Okay. Awesome. Carrie Ann, what can we celebrate with you, lady?
We are gonna celebrate that I got a big check today for some connector fees that for an 88 unit I helped raise funds for. So looking for a car, and I crossed the $500,000 raise mark in like 6 weeks.
Nice, lady.
That happened today. And then, things culminate as you put things out there, and that work compounds. And sometimes it all comes together and you see how it all just happens for you. And it seems to happen at once. And you get these long stretches of what is happening. And so today I had 4 PMLs that I just met casually over the last 3 months. 4 of them texted me and they're like, what do you have? I need to lend with you. What do you have? None of these people are from Sub 2. They are not from Gator. They are friends of friends of friends of friends. Some of them, I don't know where they came from, but they got my information and they asked what I was doing. And then also I just negotiated a deal where I turned over a deal I had done in 90 days. I restructured it. So I'm not going to get 10% back in 90 days. I'm going to get 10% back in 40 days.
Wow.
So I'm pretty jazzed about that.
So I got to see this lady in action since we shared an Airbnb. And I was like, damn, she's good. She's really good. And Sandra, you're going to meet Carrie Ann this weekend.
Yes. Let's
get
meet
excited.
Sandra. Yes. Because I love Sandra's glasses. She's very chic.
She's very chic.
She's very chic. And I'm in my workout clothes because it's how we roll today.
I love it. Congrats, lady. Keep crushing it. I'm so excited for you. Who else? Does anyone else have anything that you want to celebrate? Okay, I have to tell you this story, very quick story. At Fun Launch, I had a woman come up to me and say, Katie, I am so grateful for you because I did not know how to celebrate myself. And this is a woman that has never actually like come and like told us anything online. She's on her calls, but she hasn't come off camera, which we're working up to that, and that's totally cool. And so maybe there's somebody else out there that you're like, dude, yeah, I have stuff that I'm celebrating, but I'm not ready to share it out loud. That is okay. But make sure that you are celebrating yourself. Make sure that you're standing in the mirror and you're giving yourself a pat on the back. Make sure that you're writing in your journal, hey, I had this win, because it really does matter. Your brain actually changes. Again, I don't know the data science. That is not my thing. But I can tell you that I have read that there are cells in your brain that change when you celebrate your wins, when you celebrate your successes, when you give yourself a pat on the back. And so I want to make sure that you continue to do that. One last thing, and we're going to go. I truly believe, having met so many of you, that you are all destined for greatness. And I've told you this before, but I'm not going to stop telling you. Like, getting to spend time with you this week and hearing what you're working on and hearing what your goals are and hearing what your dreams are and hearing where you're putting yourself out there. You all are badasses. You are badasses, and I do not ever want you to forget it. And listen, I know that when you are running a business, when you are trying to build something from scratch, when you're trying to find the right partners, when you're trying to find the money, when you're trying to find the deals, it can be so friggin' hard. You can call me, you can text each other when you are on the ledge and you're like, I can't do this anymore. I just want you to know that you can and that you must, and that there is a reason why you have been called to this work. And maybe for some of you, it's just to make bigger bank accounts, and get it, sis, get it. Maybe it is to make some other kind of impact in the world. But I'm telling you that the world needs you to keep going forward in this. I'm telling you that when it gets hard, and it will, that this is a safe environment for you to come back to, for us to cheer you on, for us to remind you that you're a badass, because the world needs what you are doing. So this week, as you're tackling your to-do list, as you are putting your ideas into action, just remember that I believe that you are a badass. And if you don't believe it yet, borrow my belief in you. And if you believe it, show someone else that you believe in them. Okay? Go kick ass this week. Have an amazing week. If I get to see you in Austin, know that I am counting down the hours till we get to hug. If I don't see you in Austin, I hope that you are crushing it. There's nothing that you can't get through. You've gotten through 100% of your worst days. You got through them. You got through them. Nothing that's coming your way you can't get through. So go crush it this week, and we will see you next Monday night. Spread the word. Tell every woman that you know to be in this room. We will see you next week. Bye, ladies.